No. So you are telling me that up until 2023, the ANC did not own the trademark rights to the logo of Mkhonto Wesizwe up until 2023. And you are telling me, ever since the existence of Mkhonto Wesizwe, the ANC did not own that trademark. And now you are telling me that there is a new organization formed in 2016 that has a name by MK Legacy Project. And that organization is the organization that owned the right to the logo of Mkhonto Wesizwe. Man, you guys are confusing us, man. Can we just drop this case out, man? Can we just leave this thing alone? Let's talk about this case of the ANC versus Mkhonto Wesizwe for the law, for the law.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Enengi, and we're back at it again with another one, and I'm very confused today. I'm very confused today. I don't know what to say. I am baffled is the right word to use. There is a organization by the name of MK Legacy Project that owns the right to the trademark of Mkhonto Wesizwe, meaning the spear, and the shield and the spear. You guys know the logo. Then my question then becomes, because we have heard from the ANC that from the very beginning is the ANC that overlooked and that made sure that Mkhonto Wesizwe was registered under them. Mkhonto Wesizwe was, let's say, a branch under the ANC. Mkhonto Wesizwe was not the ANC, but Mkhonto Wesizwe was the ANC because ANC members started Mkhonto Wesizwe of Mandela. Now the confusion is, if we're to think about it very well, if you are registering a company before 1994, under which laws was that company registered? Has anyone asked this question? If my company was registered in 1982, for example, is the registration still legit post 1994? You understand where I'm trying to go with this? If indeed we as an African country are saying we are doing away with everything that has to do with colonization upon our people, the apartheid system, we kill it. That is why Jacob Zuma is always saying, why is it that we as Africans are using the Roman Dutch laws? Why can't we use the African laws? Are we Africans too stupid to have our own laws to rule our continent? The answer is no, because we always had laws. Why did we transfer our knowledge or put our knowledge aside to uplift the knowledge of our colonizers? There is a lot of confusion. In court right now, we're having a situation where the ANC has taken Mkhonto Wesizwe to court to say, the Mkhonto Wesizwe party that is, to court to say, you are using our logo, we don't want you to use our logo. But the ANC is not saying to the people, actually, we did not have the rights to this logo up until last year. Now I'm going to play you two clips. First, I'm going to play you a clip of a young gentleman by the name of Tebo, who said they invited him to the Legacy project to be one of the directors. He's a confused young little brother of ours of the MK Party, confused himself. But there's one point that he makes, and that is a valid point that he makes. He says, listen, I might not have been one of the directors there, but the fact still remains. ANC does not own the trademark rights to Umkhonto weSizwe law. Listen to this.
It's about what Legacy Project actually does and the links they have to the MK logo. Take a listen.
I'm here to actually set the record straight.
Sure.
I heard in your introduction, you introduced me as part of the Legacy Project. I was going to be part of the Legacy Project. I've provided some documentation to that effect. So we were in negotiation with a director on the Legacy Project, Mr. Mangisi Khumalo. So Mr. Mangisi Khumalo was the one we were engaging with, and we had agreed that I was going to be a director and part of the Legacy Project in terms of assisting with the programs going forward. But what actually transpired at the later stage, it seems as if there's some internal fighting amongst themselves. So I had to come and set the record straight because there's been a lot of confusion around this. We have had an agreement with Mr. Mangisi Khumalo, but he's since gone AWOL on us. But let's go back to the case.
Hold on. What you're saying is important, though, because then what connection do you have to this trademark?
Absolutely.
If you're not part of this organization yet?
Yeah, I'm going to explain. We were engaging exactly on that note, that the Legacy Project owns the trademark.
Right.
That one doesn't change. It's a fact. If you do the search, the Legacy Project NPO owns the trademark, and that is why we were in conversation with them. That is myself as IP Justice. I was in conversation with them, and they wanted to rope me in there up until it surfaced that Mr. Mangisi Khumalo did not consult with the other directors in that line. But what I appreciate about the truth coming out about the spear and the spear and the shield device, which is in contestation in court, is that it is owned by a third party. So it's not owned by MK, neither is it owned by ANC.
Right.
And which begs the question, why is the ANC taking MK Party to court on something that they do not own?
So after we have discovered that, you know what, the ANC, oh my goodness, do you guys understand what I'm saying? The ANC ekhala kabuhlungu, like a child umthathela sweet, umthathela toy. I-ANC iyakhala ibhuda phansi phezu kwedasti, angazi ukuthi i-ANC ikhalela. I-ANC ithi Umkhonto weSizwe ilogo yethu leyo. We own the trademark. But they don't tell the public that, hey, Bafethu, we actually did not own the trademark. We got the trademark rights actually in 2024. I'm going to explain why I'm saying 2024. That's this year, by the way. 2024 is this year. There is a gentleman, one of the directors of the MK Legacy Project, which is a movement that aims to uplift the history of those who sacrificed for us to get to where we are today as African people. To praise those people, continuous education, political education on what happened via the struggle of against the apartheid regime. Mr. Muntu is a director there. Now this director, he was coming to, for lack of better word, sit on the Tebogo and then try to have a neutral standing in terms of if this company, MK Legacy Project, has got a view on what is happening in court. Remember, they are the one who registered the trademark. They are the ones who registered the trademark. They did what we call a deed transfer. I'm going to explain what a deed transfer is on the next clip. They did a deed transfer, and on that deed transfer, they forfeited their right of the logo and gave it to ANC. This is now, this year, 2024. 2024. Let's listen to what Mr. Munzu says. And you will excuse me, I might just click. This clip might be a little bit long, but very needed. So, a lot of information that we need to hear from Mr. Munzu. Listen to this.
And joins us now in studio. Munzu is one of the directors of an organization called MK Legacy. Okay, lovely to have you on the program, sir. Thanks for making time. A couple of things that need to be ironed out as a start, and you and I kind of touched on this off air. There's legacy projects as we've understood it in the public domain, and now I'm introducing something called MK Legacy. Please help us draw the distinction between the two before we get into, I suppose, some of the issues that you have with what Tebogo had to say yesterday.
MK Legacy Project is the owner of the trademark.
Right.
That is being contested. I don't know what legacy project that young boy was referring to. But I was quite surprised that you guys are entertaining a press statement that is false. It was quite surprising that I see you, this young boy comes here, he says, actually, no, I'm not part of the logo, and yet he had sent you a statement that says so. That is where the difference is, the lie and the truth.
All right, so as far as you're concerned, legacy projects doesn't really exist. The correct term is MK Legacy. And now that you've set the record straight, I wonder if we can have the discussion around the logo, right? Which is what our interest was. Does MK Legacy have a position around what's taking place in court between the ANC and the MK Party?
No, we don't have a position, because what we did is that we had ceded the rights to the ANC. It's all in the court papers. We signed what was called the deed of transfer, transferring our rights to the ANC. And therefore, we cannot interfere with the court procedures. The matter is a matter between the ANC itself and the party. That is what is happening. So we don't have an opinion. It is a court who is vested with judicial power as to what that position should be. It's not our business to be interfering with what the court is doing.
When you say you've ceded your rights to the ANC, just for our viewers watching, what does that mean in layman's terms?
In layman's terms, is that the trademark has now been given over to the ANC, and the ANC are the legitimate owners now, as we speak, of the trademark.
That's quite the statement you're making from my vantage point. When did this happen?
I think we gave it to them last year. Last year.
So
you should have actually, Ayanda, you should have read pages 71, 72, and 73 of the court papers. It is all there. It is all there.
It's difficult to...
It should not be surprising you that, that this thing has been in the court and it's in the court papers.
So then let me ask this question. In your mind, what then is the dispute between the ANC and MK if, in fact, you as the owners of this icon have already ceded rights of the trademark to the ANC? That just... What's the case about then?
The case is not between the MK Legacy Project. It is the case sitting in court.
Correct.
Between the ANC and the party. That is where the case is. It is not us who now surrendered the rights to the ANC who have taken the matter to court. Why must we take the matter to court when we have given the rights of this thing to the ANC? You should have read that thing.
I think you're missing my question slightly, respectfully, sir.
Yes.
What I'm asking is, if the rights of something that legally belongs to you are with the ANC, it might boggle the mind to anyone watching why the ANC would then even need to go to court in this particular argument. Because the perception, at the very least, that exists in public is that neither the ANC nor the MK Party has this logo registered. But you do. And you're saying now that the rights you enjoyed in that registration are now with the ANC.
Can I ask you a question? Did you read pages 71, 72, and 73?
Well, that's a very specific part of the papers that I haven't. I'll be very honest with that. Right.
Because that part of the question you're asking is very clear that we, as the ones who then registered it initially, then took that trademark and said, actually, let's give it over to the ANC. We did that legally. And that process was done, and it's in the court papers.
All right. In your mind, then, how do you foresee how this MK logo... Okay, let me ask the question in this way. Does MK Legacy still use this logo?
We use it, you can see.
Right.
I'm using it.
Yeah.
We use it.
Even whilst you've acceded the rights to the ANC. Help us understand that dynamic then.
No. We use this. In fact, this was created in 2016. This, before we ceded the rights.
Mm-hmm.
But if we need to get permission, we'll have to go to the ANC to say, we need to get permission to use the logo.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not see any hindrance that the ANC will give us to say, no, you can't. Because it is in their interest to promote the sacrifices that MK people had done in the past. It's in their interest.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the wording so that we fix the wording and we understand what is going on here. A deed of transfer and a title deed is the same thing, according to my research. It's the same thing. It's like owning a car, you have the ownership certificate of the car, and then you transfer the car into my name. You understand what I'm saying? So the car is no longer mine. The car is then yours because I have transferred my car to you. The ownership of my car to you. That is what a deed of transfer means. You have transferred the rights. Let's call it rights. Let's take the word out, deed, and put rights. Rights of transfer. So they've transferred the rights to the ANC. Now the interesting thing is, we've got weak journalists in South Africa. A journalist should have asked properly, when did you transfer this deed? In which month did you transfer? Because he asked the when, and this guy says, no, last year. Last year when? Last year January. Last year March. Last year June. Or maybe in spring. Or last year December. It's when they did this transfer. According to my sources. You can question my sources, it's alright. The stories is going to come out very soon. Very soon, the stories are going to come out. The deed was transferred in December. The letters were drafted and signed in December, but the transfer itself happened in January. Late January, by the way. That's when the ANC then started having the balls to say we are taking Umkhonto weSizwe to the courts. Up until then, you never heard Fikile Mbalula say anything. You saw them handling their January 8th statement. You saw not saying anything. In fact, Fikile Mbalula even said you don't have a problem with Jacob Zuma. You guys remember those videos I was playing for you guys? You guys remember those videos where he said you don't have a problem. Zuma is did what he wanted to do. He started his own party. We don't have a problem with Zuma. We will engage Zuma. This was in the beginning of January. There was no word of taking Umkhonto weSizwe to the courts because they did not have the rights of the logo. The logos is different. The other one is holding the logo on top of the hat. The other one is holding the logo on the waist. And then Mr. Monzo says something that does not make sense. If you have then, transferred the deed to the ANC, you yourself cannot use the logo anymore. Now, what do you think we are? You cannot then use the logo yourself. Why? It is no longer your logo. It is no longer yours. Because now, if the ANC allows you to use the logo of which they're going to claim they're giving you the rights of using it, they've pivoted the rights to you. Why are they having a problem with Mkhonto Wesizwe party using the logo? This is just a game that is playing in front of us. And what we are seeing that is very important for you to understand is the last kick of a dying horse. I actually, Mina, without doing any research, no thinking, because sometimes we don't do research, we just think out of our head. I thought Mkhonto Wesizwe would win the registration process with the the ANC tried to deregister Mkhonto Wesizwe. I knew that Mkhonto Wesizwe would win that one. I thought they would lose this one of the trademark because in my heart and in my mind, I thought, okay, but Vele, the MK trademark belongs to the ANC. I don't know how I thought that. I don't know why I thought that. It's just what I thought, according to my political understanding, which shows you how little it is. Now we get to a point where we are forced to make research to say these people, they are now coming out and saying nonsense. So the ANC, what it has right now, is a deed transfer from the MK Legacy Project to say their logo is theirs. Not they can use the logo. No, the transfer. So in court, it's easy to prove it. To say, listen, these people just got the transfer now. They just got the transfer prior opening the case. We just, I don't know. Which still is a case, which they still have a right though. But then you have to prove that the problem is that these logos, the ANC logo and the Mkhonto Wesizwe logo, are not going to confuse anyone on the ballot paper. Nobody's going to confuse. Nobody's going to go there wanting to vote for the ANC and see Mkhonto Wesizwe and make an accent. Nobody. Even the old people that were part of Mkhonto Wesizwe are not going to make that mistake. And in fact, Mkhonto Wesizwe and the ANC, I believe, will not be on the same page. I think you'll have to page to the other side to see Mkhonto Wesizwe. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. You guys tell me. I just find this as a fruitless expenditure, fruitless exercise that MK has to be put in with. MK has got a big problem of worrying about them putting Jacob Zuma into parliament. That's a big worry. That's a serious case that they need to fight. Not these smaller cases. No. And I heard something from Nkamulo Ndlela, the spokesperson of the MK party, saying that the MK party is not going to put the top 6 to parliament. And I'm like, yeah, what did it tell you? You're not going to send your best candidates to parliament. And if you guys want to, if you want me to break that one down and bring the interview here, just go on the comment section and type King Do It. Just type King Do It. And I will unpack it nicely. Because I had a long discussion with one of my political friends to say, what is the MK trying to do here? What is this strategy? I don't know. Let's close it by saying this. The ANC is wasting our time. The ANC is wasting the court's time. The ANC is wasting its own time. They have to worry about Ngapula, who has resigned. They have to worry about own goals that they are scoring. They've already scored an own goal trying to deregister Mkhonto Wesizwe each and every week from January the 1st. the ANC has been scoring on goal each week. Each week, we're in April now, so meaning we are 4, 8, 12, 12, 13 weeks into January, into 2024, and the ANC is scoring own goals each and every week. They are not failing. But for the Kaizer Chiefs, yo, I Kaizer Chiefs, the ANC, same WhatsApp group. I want to about Kaizer Chiefs, what I'm pulling up to. Because not, okay, let me not get into that. The ANC must stop wasting our time. As a Pan-Africanist, we don't enjoy watching this rubbish. It's a waste of time what is happening in front of us. Let the best man win. There's no matter I can press fast forward and the elections can be this weekend. But again, as a content creator, I'm enjoying how it's unfolding in front of us each and every week. I'm enjoying every second. So yes, if it's your first time here, you might consider to click the subscribe button, hit the like button, and smash that bell icon so that you can be notified every time we upload a video. Another thing is you might want to go to the history videos that I have uploaded on this channel, and you might find something that tickles your fancy there.
Regular army. Two, it was preceded by a group of people, South Africans, they call them combatants drawn from the people, who independently defend people in different places in order to defend, not the ANC, to defend the people in the struggle against the colonial, settler, racist state. And all of these parties were important. I'm saying that summary, and I'll say your lordship must look at the manifesto because the ANC has quoted it, and it's correct. Where my learned friend gets it wrong, he uses non-legal terms. It belongs. No one can deny that the ANC had a head, and I think you'll find that in paragraph 33 of the replying affidavit of the ANC. It's correct. No one should stand in this course and deny what the ANC was in the struggle within its alliance partners that formed this. So to the extent that here was an army that was a guerrilla army to defend people, the second aspect of it was that it was an army that fought what they called, and it's in the manifesto and the code, a people's war. And it's for that reason, as I close, that my learned friend talks about the fact that at some point there were divisions about whether or not it was the right move. It's because this, you look at the manifesto of Umkhonto we Sizwe, you look at its oath, it tells you this was a calculated, noble move by a group of people, not in the ANC, but in the Alliance Congress, to support a struggle that was waged and led by the ANC. And in that way, that kind of political control, which is correct because it sought to give direction so that all combatants fall within the political prescripts of a particular ideological line. It was correct, but it does not translate to exclusive ownership.
Black Heart, the hustle continua. 100% good quality t-shirts, made to inspire your goals and dreams. T-shirts are now available at an affordable price. Place your order now. 068-473-6908. Instagram at Black7576. Facebook page Black Heart.